Carbonara, such a delicious dish and yet incredibly easy to make. Like every Italian recipe that respects itself, carbonara only uses a few ingredients, very simple, something that most likely you already have in your pantry. That's what I love about this dish. When I'm in mood for some pasta and I'm thinking, oh wait, maybe I want some carbonara. I go into my kitchen, 15 minutes later, I'm walking off with a plate of delicious creamy carbonara. I'm only gonna make a portion for myself, so I'm gonna use 2 eggs. If you want it for 2 people, you're gonna need 3 eggs, and for 3-4, you're gonna use 4 or 5 eggs. We're gonna separate the yolk from the egg white. To do so, I use the 2 egg shells and just move it around so that all the egg yolk it's going away. We're gonna whisk a little bit the egg yolk and we're gonna add just a little bit of water. Then we're gonna salt it and we're gonna pepper it. We're gonna set it aside and we're gonna take our parsley and cut it. Don't forget, when cutting, you want to pitch your blade and use kind of a wave motion. You can use the steams too, but I normally don't. We're gonna take the parsley and we're gonna add it to the egg yolk. I know it seems like there's a lot of parsley, but trust me, it's gonna work out amazing. Traditionally, and what I recommend, is to use pecorino cheese. But let's say if you don't have any, or like myself you run out, you can always use parmigiano. The taste is gonna be a little bit different, but it's not gonna be such a big difference that it's gonna be, oh wait, that's not a carbonara. No, it's still good. You want to grate, not too much. I see a lot of people in the recipes grating like half the cheese. You don't have to do that, don't be that wasteful. Yeah, sure, it's gonna be maybe a little bit creamier and you're gonna feel the cheese a little bit better, but you don't need that much. We're gonna take most of it and put it with the egg yolk. You don't want to use it all because we're gonna keep a little bit to sprinkle at the end on the pasta. Give it a nice little mix and then we're gonna take our meat. Traditionally, you want to use pancetta for your meat, but if you couldn't find any, don't stress out. You can use a meat that's having some fat on it. You want fat on your meat because the meat is gonna melt and that's what's gonna help us cook the carbonara along with a little bit of butter and just a tiny bit of oil. As you can see, the meat has a little bit of fat and that's gonna help us make a delicious carbonara. So we're gonna take our delicious meat and we're gonna cut it into little cubes. After the water is boiling, you're gonna add your pasta and then you're gonna start the timer. The cooking process of the meat for the sauce is gonna take about 3 minutes, so you need to keep that in mind when you're running the time. So the pan needs to be hot and ready 3 minutes before the pastas are done. You want to work very fast, so you're gonna get the best results. I know I'm gonna anger some Italians with this remark, but I used fettuccine. I know in a classical carbonara you have to use spaghetti, but me personally, I believe that a wider pasta is gonna be better for carbonara because the sauce is gonna stick much better. When I was in Italy not long ago, I always asked if I could substitute for my carbonara the spaghetti, if I could use linguine or fettuccine. My god, the bad looks that I got. No, carbonara is with spaghetti. Come on. Of course, this is a personal preference, you can use what you like. Traditionally, carbonara, my suggestion, go with linguine or fettuccine. In the future, I'm gonna make a video about how to make homemade pasta, because the taste of homemade pasta is so much better than the one from the store that are dry. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and hopefully I'll see you at that video too. Every 30 seconds to 1 minute, stir your pasta, that way they're not gonna get glued together and they're gonna cook evenly. What I like to do, and again this is optional, I make kind of a mountain. So I'm gonna stick the butter at the bottom, then I'm gonna put my meat, and on top I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil. This is how I prepare. Of course, we're gonna start the pan when we're about 3-4 minutes in. My pan is gonna heat real fast, so I'm gonna start it directly at the 3-minute mark. The whole cooking process of the meat takes about 3 minutes, so you need to keep that in mind when you're gonna time the pastas with the meat. It's gonna start cooking, just mix it a little bit. Be careful, you don't want to burn your meat. You want it to be hot and ready, but you don't want it burned. You want to take a little bit of that pasta water because we're gonna use it for the sauce. My pasta is almost ready, so it's my meat. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drain the pasta and then we're gonna mix everything together. So I drained my pasta, now I'm gonna add the yolk with the parsley and the cheese. Then we're gonna add a little bit of that water. Now we're gonna add the meat. And we're gonna stir it together. My goodness, look at that sauce. Oh my god, it looks delicious. Simply delicious. So now we're gonna sprinkle our parmigiano or pecorino if you have. And there you have it, my god. So there you have it, another delicious recipe. As I always say, keep it simple, keep it delicious. If you guys enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel, there's gonna be many more videos coming. Until then, enjoy your meal and arrivederci.